All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So Cain Velasquez is suing the dude that he took the shots at, Henry Galarte. So this is an interesting development. And listen, like I roll my free Cain shirt all day long. Everybody knows I'm very, very supportive of Cain, but I'm just gonna empty my mind on this thing because that's just what I do, right? So Cain is filing suit against Galarte, which Harry Galarte, I'm sorry, which I encourage him to do because the guy may or may not have, assaulted his kid. And he went after him. He took the shots. He hit the dad. Now he's sitting in jail, which is complete bullshit that he's not out on bail at least. What's he done to deserve to sit in there when he hasn't even been convicted yet? It's bullshit. That's not how the court system is supposed to work. If a person's not a flight risk, he's not a risk to the society. Like all the shit he had to do is ask, are you going to go after him again? He would have said no. He'd have been fine. Anyway. But he's suing them in civil court, which I imagine has a lot to do with his criminal case because like I said in my previous video about why it's important that that there were other accusers, it's really important, in my opinion, that a jury believes that guy definitely molested his kid, okay? If there's any question about whether or not that charge is true, that will drastically impact Cain's likelihood of getting out of jail in any kind of, short period of time. So let me rewind, actually. So, the most recent story that I did about this, if I'm remembering correctly, was about the fact that Cain's kid seems to be the only accuser. Now, this guy, Harry Galarte, worked at he lived and worked in a daycare, kids everywhere. Now, I pay attention to this kind of stuff because I just do. And almost always, when someone gets popped for touching kids, there's tons of accusers. That's how you always know it's legit. Especially if it's public, The challenge is I don't know, man, actually. You know what, as I'm saying, what I was going to say is normally there are a bunch of other accusers. So when I heard that there was only one accuser and it's Cain's kid, I was like, geez, man, that's a tough case to prove. You got one accuser and he's four. I'm not saying the guy didn't do it. I'm just saying if you're on, put yourself on a jury. Put yourself on the jury for that guy, Because the idea that no one has ever been falsely accused for, putting a hand on a kid is obviously not accurate, Now, to be crystal clear, anybody who actually puts a hand on a kid, you forfeit the rest of your life as far as I'm concerned. That's why I have no sympathy for any of it. Dude, you put a fucking hand on a kid, dude, I have no problem with that. But again, the idea that there's never been a false accusation is ridiculous. And there only being one accuser does not look good. It just doesn't, and I'm not saying that he didn't do it. It just doesn't look good if you're a juror where you're what am I basing this on? What's the evidence? They're all, that 4-year-old kid said it. You're okay, you put the kid on the stand. You don't know the kid. You don't know their family. And this has nothing to do with Cain or his family. I'm just saying, I'm talking just any blanket story with the same exact kind of situation. You're geez, man. The kid comes up, you're dude, he sounds like a solid kid. But what if they put the dude up and he's guys, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I do not I have nothing for you. I don't have an incident that I could say where I helped him. I don't have anything to do with that. I just don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. What do you, how do you rule on that? You know what I mean? And the reason that's important, again, is because when Cain's jury is going to make the decision about what happens to him, if that guy did, put hands on his kid, that is going to change their minds. Or at the very least, it's going to influence how much time he gets, etc. But if they're oh yeah, this guy got falsely accused and then this dude went and shot him, they're going to be ship him. You know what I mean? So I imagine Cain suing him in civil court has a lot to do with bolstering the idea that he's that like, that the guy's guilty. You know what I mean? Like really kind of piling on evidence that he's guilty. But anyway, Velasquez was arrested in February. The judge denied bail. Velasquez claims in a civil lawsuit that Harry Galarte sexually molested Velasquez's son while the boy was attending a daycare run at a home by Galarte's mother, Patricia Galarte. The Times said the lawsuit was filed on behalf of a minor. Harry Galarte was living at home, working at the daycare during the time of the alleged crime. John Deegan, an attorney for Galarte, didn't immediately respond. Child care owners fostered and maintained an environment where children could be molested, sexually abused, and harassed. Velasquez said in a court filing, the lawsuit accuses Galarte and his family of negligence and sexual battery. This is just a fucked up story, man. I don't even like talking about it anymore. Anyway, that's the story. Peace.